Hello, good day everyone. Happy to welcome you to a new video. Today I've got a simpler project going on. I decided to do something a bit easier. Just gonna go into a sketchbook, my daily kind of sketchbook. Nothing too crazy with painting here, but I am gonna be using my favorite brush pen, the Pentel pocket brush. This one's got a little wisteria design on it, as it is my favorite brush pen, favorite pen, favorite drawing instrument. All those kind of things. I've used it for a few years now, and this is probably my 5th or 6th pen, as I have destroyed a few over the years, either crushing them in a pocket or dropping them off of a high place or just losing them on a public transportation, all sorts of ways. But I love these pens because you can do everything from a super fine line with just the very tip of the pen to a dense, just painterly kind of brush stroke when you use the full force of the brush into the paper, and it's very expressive because of that. I really like it. I hope you're able to enjoy the kind of marks that it makes along with me. Doing a pretty free drawing here. Once again, I don't know exactly what's going on here. Even in reflection, I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on here. But I do know that there are some combination of organic, figurative kind of elements, as well as just free-flowing lines, some of the more jaggedy kind of areas. But then, I don't know, I feel like I react to those by adding little faces, little eyes to certain kind of areas. I'm not thinking too much when it comes to a drawing like this. It's more just reacting to how the whole page feels like it's coming together. Shout out to this book, by the way. It's a French sketchbook by French atelier. I think it's called Babette edition, but I've gone through a few of these books now, and I love that they're able to lay flat. You can see that the full drawing encompasses both pages, so it's more size than just using half of a page. Give a bit more expression going across both sides. Happy with how it's coming together, but obviously there's still a bit more work to do given the length of this video. But I don't think it's just one drawing. We got 2 going on in this one, a 2-for-1 package, if you will. Yeah. Beyond drawing, though, I feel like I want to talk about just how things have been going. It's been a pretty solid week. I feel like things have been going pretty well in terms of my own kind of creative output, and most importantly, getting content out for this channel for you guys. And I do want to take a moment and just shout out some of the kind of media that I've been consuming recently. As you know, as they say, you are what you eat, and I feel like I'm very much going to be inspired by the things that I'm consuming when it comes to art, when it comes to music, when it comes to cinema, those kinds of things. And I think it would be fun to kind of start a conversation about what you guys are also interested in, if there's any kind of common interest and that sort of thing. But yeah, what I wanted to mention is just that I finished a rewatch of Attack on Titan this week. Quite a heavy but really fantastic anime with some very deep topics, talking heavily about war and humanity's role in conflict, and kind of the cyclical nature of a lot of the troubles that we have as humans, of reactionary natures. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but if you're looking for a kind of subversive anime featuring unexpected twists and turns and a bit of an anti-hero sort of protagonist, that's definitely a go-to. I feel like the art is a little gory for my taste, but the subject matter and a lot of the illustration is just so ridiculously good, and I feel like a lot of it reminds me of a series of paintings by Francisco Goya, the painting of Saturn devouring what's it called, Saturn devouring his son. I feel like is kind of in line with Attack on Titan, at least in terms of like kind of like a fine art connection to the more commercial manga side of it. But you know, I feel like there's something to be said there of how it's a story based around something that is definitely rooted in some art history. I said that's not the only thing that I've done this week. I feel like it's worth mentioning that I've been playing a game called Baldur's Gate, a really old game from 1999, and it's I don't want to say it's turn-based. It's a action Dungeons and Dragons kind of based RPG game, role-playing game. It's an old style where you get to control between your own character and 5 other party members, and you can choose between auto movement for your party and full individual controls. But the point is that it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, which is a very famous tabletop role-playing game, and it's one where players have to use their imaginations a lot of the time in order to create a world. There's usually a game master, a dungeon master, and they are creating a world for the players. And while you might have some figures, some models and things, you're still very much telling a story and encompassing yourself and experiencing a story. And I feel like Baldur's Gate, being a game from 1999, it's not totally it's telling a story through more than just a visual means. Like, looking at it in the 2024 lens, the graphics are very bad. Like, there's no argument there. The graphics are terrible, but the art style is incredible, and the artwork in the game is beautiful. The pixel art is ridiculous, and a lot of the environments are crafted meticulously well, and I can definitely just spend hours exploring the world and walking around different environments and going into different kind of places and caves and stuff. Fighting different monsters, all sorts of different designs. I mean, it's still based on Dungeons and Dragons lore, but in a portrayal that really makes me think about what's possible with that sort of implementation. It's older technology wise, but it still stands up today because of just the system behind it and the people that made it. Really happy to be playing the game series and just to experience something new, since I haven't played any kind of action Dungeons & Dragons type game before. But please let me know in the comments if you've either watched Attack on Titan and what you think about it, or if you've played Baldur's Gate. I know it's pretty big series now. The third game is out. I think that blew up in the past year, but especially like if you've played the old game on PC. I'm playing the PlayStation remaster, the enhanced edition, so I know for sure it's not the most pure experience for playing the game. It feels like it should be played with mouse and keyboard, so you can side scroll and do all those have better control over your characters, basically. Yeah, back to the drawing. I hope you enjoyed the first. That was quite a chaotic one. I feel like I was saying, the thoughts of like Attack on Titan, and maybe some of the thoughts of going to the polls or something like that this week got into that drawing. Very, very chaotic. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but onto a new one. I'm starting it a little differently. I've got a felt pen, one of the Sakura artist pens, and I'm just going at it with a bit more of a sharp line. I guess this is a more systematic drawing, since I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, thick fine pen, and then a extra fine pen, and then brush pen to finish this drawing off. And I think I'm going at it with a bit more of a illustrative kind of angle. As you can see, there's definitely a couple of figures here that I've drawn, and I think the bottom left is emulating an apartment, just or skyscraper, some sort of abstract residential space. You could assume this could be where these two beings are living, but I would say that the being on the right is a bit more alien in nature than the one on the left, even though the one on the left barely looks human, although there is perhaps a couple of features that, like a nose and an eye, that you would see on a human, but you would also see that on any living organism. So, you know, they might be living in the residential space, but they might not be paying for rent and being a part of the overall society, if that makes sense. You know, they could just be living in the cracks in the walls, that sort of thing. Halloween was yesterday, so I'm trying to come up with something a little bit more creepy for this one. Yeah, just having fun with it. That's really what matters with a drawing like this. Just making sure that it's enjoyable, both to watch here for you and just to do for me. Because otherwise, what's the point of doing it? Really, gotta be enjoyable. Well, I guess not everything has to be fun. Could be more of a solemn, meditative experience, but still an escape from the noise, the greater noise of the outside world. Yeah, with a thicker brush pen, putting in my last few kind of marks on the page. I think overall, in my mind, I'm just thinking I need to darken this. I need to darken this thing, and so I just start laying on the ink. I don't go too ham on it, but you can see I'm trying to fill out more of both of the pages here, full experience. But with that, we can call it. And for a few close-up shots, here we go. I do think that both of these kind of drawings are good practice, and I think it would be nice to see both of these come out to a larger canvas. So stay tuned if you like to see me transfer them to something a bit larger. I release videos every Friday, so please subscribe if you like to stay tuned. If you like the video, please give it a like, share if you've got some peeps interested in the art, and leave a comment what you think about the things. Peace.